are on page 138 in our packet, step-by-step 4.17, creating special effects. Using what we've created so far, we're going to create some special effects for this bouncing ball. So number 1 on page 138, it says click on frame 40 in the timeline. Can anybody remember what button on the keyboard creates a keyframe? F6, that's correct. Click on the timeline at the top in frame 40 and then press F6. What's this arrow stand for right here? What's it called?
Motion tween.
That is correct. It's called a motion tween. It does all the motion in between. We created a keyframe in frame 40. Still in frame 40, I want you to go down to the stage and click on the ball. Go to the property inspector on the right, and we're going to change the tint color to red. So we're going to change the tint color to red. So now that it's red, the ball should be in the center of the stage in frame 42. So make sure your ball is in the very center of the stage if it's not done so already. Now number 4 on page 138 in step-by-step 4.17, the timeline, we're going to skip all the way to frame 75. So we're going to do quite a bit of a jump here. So click in frame 75 on the timeline, and then I want you to add a keyframe. Press F6. F6, create a keyframe. So now you got a motion tween from frame 40 to frame 75. In frame 75, we're going to change the scale of the ball. Now you can do it several ways. You could go modify, transform, scale, or you can do the keyboard shortcut, which is Q. So press Q. So now you got the free transform tool. And we are going to drag the corner square surrounding the ball to make it larger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it fit across the whole stage here. I'm going to make this ball fill the whole stage here. So the ball's filling the whole stage. What we're going to do, we're number 6. We're going to go under color effect in the properties panel where you had changed the tint, and we're going to change it from tint to brightness. So change it to tint to brightness. Under brightness, we're going to change bright to 100%. Basically, when you make something brighter, you add more light, like light color. So it changes it to white if it's at 100%. No brightness would change it to black. So it's not making it transparent, it's only changing it to white. So if we had a different stage background color, it would just be a white ball. So I just wanted to make sure you know exactly what's going on and not to confuse it. Now if you wanted to change the transparency, you don't do this, I'm just telling you. You would go under alpha and change the alpha to 100% and it would make it transparent. Just for future reference, alpha changes the transparency. But brightness, we're just making it more white. Brightness is at 100%, so the ball becomes white, so it disappears from view, as shown in figure 4.17 on page 138. Now let's click play on the controller or at the bottom of the timeline. So let's click play, and it plays out, it grows, and it looks like it pops and disappears. Kind of like a balloon. So yours should look like this. One thing I want to explain before we move on to the next step is symbol edit mode. I'm going to click on 40 and I'm going to double click on this symbol ball. Now once I double clicked on the symbol ball, you see we're not in scene 1 anymore, we're in ball. So some of you might be in symbol edit mode and you're like, what happened to all my keyframes and motion tweens? Well, you're in symbol edit mode. Symbol edit mode basically takes you into the library symbol ball and allows you to modify and change it. Now that works like when you're trying to animate something as it's moving along the stage. You'll need to create more keyframes and motion tweens for that. I'll talk to y'all more about that later. Just in case you ever run into the spot where you're like, hey, what happened to my keyframes? What happened? I don't know what happened. You're in symbol edit mode. The way to get out is you click on scene 1 and everything's back on your timeline again. You just go double click, you're in symbol edit mode. You can change that ball, the look, the size. Try not to do that while we're doing this assignment, but there will be times if you do your own projects, you'll need to do that. Go into symbol edit mode. It's easy to get back. You just click on scene 1 and everything goes back to the way it was. I just wanted to tell you that. If everybody's frame 75, they change the brightness to white. Let's hit save, and we're going to move on to activity 3. So file, save, and that's it.
Thank you all for watching.
Hey class, if you like this video, please click like below and subscribe to this channel. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.